The perspective that I'm looking at is having a safe, secure space that is not on the internet, where pharmaceutical companies or healthcare companies or doctors can communicate back and forth without ever touching the internet. Also, if I was going to be attacking AI, what I would do is I would actually go after some of the databases and I would poison those databases. So one of the things that I'm also very excited about is having a closed loop network where you have the ability to collaborate on AI, where you know that it is not going to be poisoned or it's not going to be attacked. Personally, with the health conditions that I have, one of the things that I am most excited about is also the digital twin technology, because I have some pretty rare diseases and sometimes it's kind of trial and error. But for me, once we get those digital twins to a place where they are, really replicas, including, a genetic map, it's going to be easier to test medications or procedures on that digital twin without the patient having to undergo unnecessary procedures. So I'm very excited about AI. And I also am excited about the trend with AI to really speed up diagnostics, and also to really run through things that a physical human just can't do, to be able to really collate the data in a way that a human just doesn't have the ability to do. So I'm really excited about a lot of these new technologies. Well, dark kryptonite is not just for healthcare, but the reason that this is near and dear to my heart is because I have chronic rare diseases, and I know exactly what you're talking about, Terrence. 2 words you say to a patient that's terrifying: prior authorization. I also love that you're really working on something that is actually an issue, and that's doctor-patient literacy. Because like, for example, if I were to say I have inflammation, well, it may be swelling, and they're 2 different things. And, a lot of patients don't actually know that. So, kudos to what you guys are doing. What dark kryptonite is, it's slightly different. Think of dark kryptonite as a safe house. So if you have all of these legacy systems that are compliant with absolutely nothing, but you put it inside of the dark kryptonite closed loop network, and you're now compliant with pretty much every standard. So what it is it's an off the grid technology where you can send information back and forth. You can do anything that you need, but it's in this safe house. And we're actually using AI a little bit differently. We're utilizing it as an intrusion prevention system, but also we're using it to work with the browser, because the browser is an AI powered SaaS platform, and we're not using traditional IP addressing. We're just not, because if you have an IP address and a domain name, you can be hacked. But we're utilizing different technologies such as hashes to connect to. And if the AI inside of the dark kryptonite closed network suspects that maybe there has been some type of compromise, it will immediately switch the browser's location. And in later versions, what we're interested in doing is taking it even a step further and adding a patent pending quantum resilient encryption technique. So you can really do a lot of your business inside of this closed loop network. And, for me, it's important because I have medical records, all over the place, and having those records in a safe place is very important to me. And I know that it's very important to patients too. And I, for one, am actually very excited about AI, because I do not believe that AI is going to necessarily replace doctors. I believe AI is going to supplement doctors and do the things that they can't do. And I'll give you a quick example. In my case was difficult. It started in 2018. And one of the things that I did was I started treating it like a digital forensics exam. And I looked at things that were kind of in the background, but also really kind of pieced things together in a way that made sense. And one of those things was doing a chronology of every single CBC and metabolic panel that I'd had, or any test with results. And one thing that I noticed that was interesting was my sodium level was always literally the last number, the bottom of the reference range. On occasion, it would go a little bit lower. But a doctor looking at that record is just looking at one record in time. And we're humans. We're not going to pick up on that chronology, but AI will. And that's where I think the power of AI is going to be so strong. And, you know, the reason that I really was pushing dark kryptonite is because when hospitals start getting attacked and you're putting people's lives at line, that's when something else has to be done. And that's really that was the inspiration of dark kryptonite, to have this safe place and have ways to protect your assets, but also your patients. So the biggest obstacle is going to be changing the healthcare system, which, as you said, is not the quickest to change. But it's getting to the point where I think this is going to be what we're going to start seeing. But I also see we're in a really exciting time, because we can make AI into whatever we want it to be. And I mean, I know that it's been around for a while, but in terms of becoming integrated into our sociology and how we live, it's a relatively new thing. And having the ability to really shape what that's going to be is extremely exciting for me, because, you know, I don't have to tell you guys, there are a lot of issues in the healthcare system. There are a lot of things that work great, but there are a lot of issues. And being able to incorporate AI and whatever its successor is going to be, and whatever the successor after that is going to be, right now at the ground stage, we can work and making sure that it's secure, that it's equitable, scalable, and that it's going to really help, you know, in this healthcare space, in pretty much every aspect of healthcare. So not just diagnostics, there's so many other aspects to it as well. And, you know, I may be the only person that in the world that says this, but I'm really excited for AI. Very